New year, new me, who are you, boy? If you're in my way, you better move, boy. I don't ever miss a cue like schoolboy. Ain't no telling what I'ma do, boy. Ha, 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 ha. I bet you thought you had me figured out, but nah, 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 nah. I'm way too unpredictable.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tech Disruptors podcast. We are back for another week talking everything tech, and we have some very special guests with us. As always, they're very special guests, but I'll introduce my co-host first.
I'm Jason.
And below him on my screen is, I think it's Devin.
Hey, Devin, how's it going?
And we have a very special guest. You may know him from YouTube as Average Dad. Can we call you by your first name? Oh, hang on. I think he's muted. I think you muted yourself there. Yep, there we go.
Sorry, there we go. First mistake. Yeah, you can. Mike, call me Mike.
So we got Mike from Average Dad Tech, and we have had a crazy week. Pixel releases, crazy AI, and everything else in between. So I think first we'll just kind of like introduce Mike and just kind of give people an idea of who Mike is. So Mike, can you give us a little rundown on who you are and what you do, so our viewers can look you up?
Of course, yeah. So Mike, as I say, Average Dad on YouTube. I started this crazy YouTube journey a few years ago, not knowing where I wanted to be. I think if you look back at my first video, it was like a military fitness test of all things. And then I just slowly found myself during lockdown being drawn towards, I've always been obsessed with phones and technology, and I found myself being drawn towards the Chinese Asian market. So I bought myself a Xiaomi Mi 11 Ultra from an import company, and then from there it has just snowballed to over 200 devices, and I find myself not quite Mr. Mobile Fold guy, but I find myself being known as the guy that reviews all fold phones, literally all of them from the Chinese market, and that's how things have gone. And yeah, the channel's growing, we've got a tech store, we've got a community, crazy things happening that while still having a full-time job and a family, and
like all of us,
yes.
Well, let me ask you a question before you go into so you talked about foldables, and me and Darren have been known, like Devin, I can't speak for you, but we've imported many phones. Now, I in the States try to get the global version because when you get some of those Chinese versions, they don't have Google Play services. You can sideload things, but they don't always work. What is your opinion? So I'm sure you get some of those phones that don't work, just don't have Google Play services. Is that something that bothers you, or you're just more like, hey, I want to see the hardware, I want to see how it works?
It's a funny one. It's a really good question to ask, and it's good that I can say it out like in person live. I've said it in many videos. Nowadays in 2024, every single phone, every single one apart from Huawei, has Google services built in. The Google Framework, Google Mobile Services, GMS is all built in. So every native app store from Honor and Oppo and Xiaomi, just search Google Play Store and download it. No APKs, no workarounds. I've made many videos. The biggest thing is Android Auto. Everybody talks about Android Auto and smartwatch connectivity, but there's fixes now, not even workarounds. Honor, Vivo have just developed Android Auto on their platform, the Chinese ROMs that will push globally. It's being rolled out in a phased approach. Honor have got it again being rolled out by the end of this year. There really shouldn't be many workarounds, which is the ultimate goal for me is to have that, because
that's
so many
amazing.
people have put it off.
That's been my biggest.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, because I'd love to get like the Vivo 100, the Ultra,
X100 Ultra.
But I don't want to, because the Pro was amazing. Like, me and Darren love the camera, but I don't want to get the Ultra and I use Android Auto almost every vehicle I have. Here in the States, we drive a lot, so we need to have entertainment. And then Google Wallet doesn't seem to work on a lot of these. No, but you said there's workarounds. I just maybe haven't looked deep enough.
And it just depends how deep you want to dive with certain things, like the Wi-Fi calling, Google Wallet. Google Wallet works, banking apps work. You'll find that some banks are more restricted than others. So what you have to do is use an app called the Curve app. So Curve is like a big global banking. You just add all your cards to that app. The app is NFC compatible. So you still use not GPay, but it's CurvePay. Same thing, free
Wow.
to use. There are always workarounds for 99.9% of things nowadays.
That's
You
amazing.
just
Yeah.
blew my mind because I'm gonna go buy every Huawei because
I was
while
just
we know
gonna
has
say-
some limitations.
Yeah.
My wife
I'm just
is,
gonna download, getting all these Mi Mix 4 foldables and all these kind of things. Great.
My
That's
wife is
awesome.
not going to like the conversation that is going to happen after this podcast. Like, hey, I got to go buy a new phone, I guess.
Blame Mike. Say it's Mike.
Yeah.
without naming names, I've got a members WhatsApp group. There's about 150 of us in there now, and without naming names, there's a few that have messaged me privately to say, could you like send the phone to my work address so that my wife doesn't know? And I'm like, hey, it's your money. You do what you do. But some of that,
That's
if any, it's a bit late here, so they may not be watching. But yeah, they'll find that funny because it's dead true.
That's funny.
But Mike's going to share this with his group a little later on. I know it's like midnight there, so we'll try not to wake him up.
Absolutely, I will be shared for sure. Has been a few times, so yeah.
So, Mike, I'm going to ask you probably the question you get all the time, but I'm going to ask you, and outrightly, with just off the riff, you're not allowed to overthink it. Favorite foldable ever made? Go.
Vivo X Fold 3 Pro.
Wow, that was quick, eh? And
Vivo has
recent
been-
too.
We've been
Yeah,
impressed
yeah.
with Vivo too.
Yeah.
I like across the board, guys. I mean, obviously they released global versions. The X100 Pro was global, and a couple of others. They just make the best, for me, the best hardware, and also Origin OS is their Chinese software. For me, it's the best software. After One UI, it's the best Android skin I've ever used. Even the Chinese
Origin
version
OS is the Chinese version.
it is, yeah. It's Fun
Yeah,
Touch.
what's the US version?
Globally.
Fun Touch. That's
Fun
right.
Touch.
Yeah. Okay.
Fun
Yeah.
Touch. So yeah, X Fold 3 Pro. Everybody asks me, it's the most burning question because it's me, it's foldable. And I'm just honest. Yeah, but it's the X Fold 3 Pro purely because of the whole package, and the cameras are the best. The cameras are the biggest compliment I can say is the cameras are like candy bar or slab phone,
Yeah.
whatever you'd call them.
Yeah.
They're as good as like, an Oppo X7 Ultra or an S24 Ultra, phones like that. So yeah.
So,
Well,
Jason,
we got the folding guy here. I got to ask this
We do.
question. Now, I don't know
Yeah,
if you
go.
saw this, Mister Michael Fisher.
who's the boss? Oh,
Mr.
sorry,
Mobile.
yeah,
Yeah,
Mr.
Mr.
Mobile.
Who's the boss?
Yeah, Mr.
That's
Mobile.
a totally different. We're not touching
Yeah,
that
we'll
yet.
get to that shortly. But anyway,
Michael Fisher, I love the guy.
Yeah,
He's very
me too.
smart. So he did an interview today. I think the video just came out today where
Yeah.
he interviewed some of the guys
Google.
from Google.
yeah.
And he asked him, he said, the foldable was a huge departure, but I understand why you did it. What about a Google Pixel flip phone?
Yes.
And his response was kind of like, hey, the market's saturated. We don't
Yes.
think it's in the portfolio. Do you think that Pixel would benefit from a flip phone, or do you think he's right? It's kind of here, at least in the US, it seems kind of saturated, and everywhere. Is it too saturated for that right now, or do you think they could benefit from that?
So me with my analytical head on, I don't think the market's too saturated. I think Samsung have pretty much nailed it is the issue for Pixel. For them to start from Gen 1 when Samsung are on Gen 6, unlike their fold phone, their large format fold phone,
Yeah.
which is a sham, the flip is actually, and I'm not a flip phone fan, but I think Samsung have
I.
nailed it. You've got companies like Vivo and Oppo and Xiaomi have got their flips. I
Yeah.
think Pixel are just a bit too far behind, and the amount of R&D and the costs that come into it, I can't see them coming to flip market, although they are cheap to make and they are popular. But yeah, I just think they're too far behind just now.
Yeah,
So-
I think for me, it's more like a software thing because Google's known as a software company first.
Yeah.
So stepping on Samsung's toes, I don't think is the best option. So, he said that with Gemini. He goes, because Michael Fisher said, hey, what about Gemini on iPhone? He's like, we want it in everyone's hands. So we're going to see this. It's going to be limited to the Pixel for X amount of time. But Google is making more money off software than hardware.
Oh, for sure, yeah. But it's interesting you bring up that video, that interview. I watched the interview today, and you will rarely see someone talk positively like a Tim Cook talk. He mentioned Samsung, I want to say 3 or 4 times in that interview alone, glowingly. They have a closer relationship than I think people think. Or a lot of yous will know, but a lot of non-balls deep, if I can say that, people in the market.
You could say whatever you'd like.
They have a really close relationship to the point where maybe there's contractually an agreement.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking too.
Okay,
He made it sound
so-
like it was saturated, but
I'm glad you bring that up because in that very same video, what's the gray-haired Google guy's name? Craig. Is it Craig? Someone or other. The guy that does all the promotional stuff in their videos. I forget his name. Anyway, he mentioned that he'd been using a Z Flip 6.
Yes.
So that actually ties into what Mike's saying there, is that maybe this connection is strong, like really strong. And, you know, I mean, I know I don't know if you guys caught, there was a video released earlier this week where Marquez's team reviewed all of the Nexus line. They went back through all the Nexus phones. Yeah. And I know we always say, you know, Nexus, we revere Nexus phones for their, you know, what they were.
Yeah, of course.
But it's interesting to hear someone at Google say, I'm not using a Google phone. I've been using the Z Flip 6.
Well, I mean, I think what he meant was like flip wise or fold wise. He's using a Samsung, but if you asked him what foldable he's using, he's not going to say
no, of course not. But the fact that he said it in an interview is interesting to me, because I didn't expect that. I expected him to go, oh, well, I've been using the 8 Pro for the last year and, you know, yada, yada. Devin, now, Devin, you're new to fold, if I think if this is right. You had a Pixel Fold, is that correct?
Yeah, I've got a Pixel Fold right now. I had the original Samsung Fold. Probably
tiny
6 months
screen on the
after
outside. Heck yeah.
Yeah, probably 6 months after it came out, and I didn't have that for very long. I didn't care for it too much. So
Devin,
let's do a stat. You said you had the Fold, right? Yeah. Average, Mike, average. Yeah. You said you prefer folds. So my reason is I like the book style candy bar Fold because I can use the outside screen. I don't have to open it as much. In the back of my head, I'm thinking a flip phone, I don't care how big you make that screen, you're still going to want more real estate in certain situations. So you're going to be opening it more. And I feel like that screen is more likely to have issues in a flip than it would a fold. Yeah. That's my reason. The other reason is obviously opening a folding device, you have more real estate.
Yeah.
What are your guys' preferences? Is it flip or fold, and why?
Okay,
anybody can go first.
I'm going to jump first. So I've had the Oppo Find N3 Flip, I think it was called. Okay. Whatever their Oppo. Yep. Best camera setup on a flip phone because it had a telephoto. It was one of the only flip phones that I used had a telephoto.
Yep. True.
Arguably probably the best camera that's ever been in a flip. But the OS was a little interesting. The outside screen, you couldn't really do like anything on it. But great cameras. I also had the Z Flip 5. I had the Z Flip 6, which I bought for my wife, and she hated it because she felt like she couldn't do anything on the outside screen. It was very limiting. But I like flips, but I'm a nostalgic like 90s child, right? So like I had a flip phone when I was younger, and that was how I started in cellular technology. But I understand why foldables are appealing, especially I had the Pixel Fold a few times. I bought it, sold it, rebought it, wanted to try
it again. You don't have it anymore?
Again. No, I recently got rid of it. Actually,
Devin's got it.
Devin has
Mike,
it.
Do you still have the original Pixel Fold?
No, I've had 7 and I have none just now.
So you're like 7. So me and Devin are the only ones that I still have my Fold, but I'll be honest with you. I turn it on. I've got like 3 or 4 phones, but I don't use it for anything. Really
so I told all my viewers, go and get them on eBay just now because you can pick them up for like, I'm going to say pounds here, 450, 500 pounds.
Yeah.
But the trade-in you're going to get is more from Google, so it's actually a phone for nothing. So I think Google are offering up to like $800 for the Fold or something, which is
not going to lie. That's why I bought this phone a couple of months ago. I was like, you know what? I'm going to try it. If I like it,
phone for a couple
this
of months,
is going to be the best trade-in value.
I'll be honest.
Towards the next one.
I like the widescreen when you open it.
Yeah.
I didn't like the OnePlus because I didn't like the square. I felt like I was having an iPad in my hand. I didn't like the square aspect ratio. And I think the new Pixel is more square. So
it's actually taller than the OnePlus.
It is, but it looks beautiful when
it does. It's not. Look, Google does good hardware, and I think I'm not misthinking that. Do I wish they'd kept the passport formula? Absolutely. I still think that's the best play for that, but I understand, and I think he said in the interview with Mr. Mobile there that they wanted to go more conventional because they're trying to get this experience of like a small tablet or whatever.
Look, I'm going to sign up for hashtag Team Pixel because everyone's dropping out. So maybe I can get a free folding phone and review it for them.
Yeah. Well, we'll come back to Team Pixel. There's a lot I want to say about that.
I had to say something.
But anyway, so yeah, I mean, I think all of us have had folding phones and flipping phones at some point here. And I think, you know, Mike, I guess the question, I know we're kind of talking about folders here, but a lot of people will say they're not worth the trade-off, right? They're gimmicky, too expensive. Probably if you're using the outside screen more than the inside screen, it's not worth it. So what makes it worth it for you? That's the question I would like to know.
Convenience, to be honest. I mean, the outer screen, I was reaching there while you're talking because I've got the OnePlus Open Apex edition that actually arrived today. So I know what you're saying about the outer cover screen, but having used this is a glorious outer cover screen aspect ratio wise for me. I love this thing. I noticed the pixels slightly more curved. It's at the left hand side bezel.
But that color. That color.
Oh, that.
I said, look at that. It's just spectacular.
It's a beautiful device. So for me, it's convenience. You'd already touched on it, Jason. Essentially, it's a phone. And when you want it to be more than that on a plane or sitting traveling, you open it up, you've got, you know, a slightly larger canvas for multitasking, for consuming content. And that's what it is to me. A flip doesn't represent that. A flip is something you always have to open or close. That's not convenience to me. And that's why. And then also you touched on it as well. They're done. The cameras. There is what kind of irks me. The only thing for me about the Samsung is they could easily fit a 3x optical zoom lens taken from the Z Fold 6, popped on the Z. They could do it easily, but they won't for financial reasons to make more money and more profit. But they could, and then it would be the perfect flip. I'm still never going to buy it and keep it, but for people, that's what's putting people off. The cameras just aren't up to scratch, but it can be done.
My question is this: who beats it to the punch, Motorola or Samsung on adding a telephoto?
Oh, Samsung, come on.
Out of those two, I think Motorola probably beats them to the punch. However, Samsung will implement it better. I think.
So Samsung's like the Apple of Android. They kind of, especially with foldables, they've been laying back and they haven't been doing a whole lot.
Exactly.
I'm hoping in the next few years they say, hey, oh my God, Pixels, because I'm assuming Apple at some point will maybe at least make a flip, and they'll have to do something.
2026, apparently the patents have been there for years and years, but the rumors are very strong for 2026 for only a flip, not a fold. And then interestingly, that I'm sure you have heard, but in October in South Korea, there is meant to be 90% of the way there a Samsung Fold Slim. I think they're going to go with the naming convention, slightly wider outer screen, slightly better cameras. It's like a pro version, I believe. So it's either going to call like the Pro or the Ultra, apparently, only in the South Korean and Chinese market.
Of course.
I'll have it.
Interesting. Yeah,
you'll get one, right?
Mike will have it first.
I'll have it.
Nice.
Well, actually, that's a nice little segue. So there was a crazy report that came out today about Apple developing a rotating iPad something or other. Let me see if I can pull it up here. I
thought you were going to talk about the patent for a smart ring that works with their VR stuff.
They're saying it's like, I'll share the screen here so you guys can see it, like a tabletop device of some form. Hang on a second. I'm not pulling up a video here. Relax, Jason.
I know. I'm about ready to cancel you right now.
I think at this point, Apple just throw everything at the wall, patent everything, and then see what sticks.
So Google's been doing that for years. You know, they've been throwing things at the wall and canceling it. Apple needs to start doing it.
Well, so this is interesting to me, this one, because I can't remember what company did it, but it might have been Echo, Amazon, and their like Echo series and all that stuff. But do you remember they had the Amazon Alexa rotating
the screen
that would track
follow you? Yeah.
So I mean, this article that came out yesterday on Engadget saying that they're working on a rotating iPad tabletop device
with an arm, right?
With an arm, yeah. So like, I don't know what they're thinking. There's basically saying that it can tilt the screen up and down using actuators and rotate 360 degrees.
Hold on. hold on. It's got an arm. I'm already seeing sexual assault allegations being groped
absolutely.
by the Apple screen.
Yeah. I
Not
know.
just that. Oh, sorry, teacher. I couldn't finish my homework. My Apple ripped it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Well, I mean, so
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I don't know.
I think this is going to be like a home assistant. This is what I'm calling. And I think it's going to be iPad-esque design. But from what they were saying here in this article is that it could tap into Apple's DocKit software to track users as they move around their home for video calls and more. Apparently, employees have been working on this for some time now, linking it into Apple's AI and Siri. So I'm thinking assistant. I'm thinking like Amazon-esque, Alexa type rotating assistant, which I think
they're trying to fit into a market that's already well established by Amazon and Google, and they're going one step further by including a strange arm. Now, I say strange because it sounds strange. It could work just fine.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What was
The arm is the thing that makes me more skeptical. Not that, like, I think the moving around the house, the tracking. What Apple will do is put a health and safety. You know, like this will help you if you're disability or something. Maybe that's where the arm comes in.
Right.
I'm just not sure about it. But what if you go down the stairs?
Amazon Astro, that robot with a screen on it, follows you around the house.
Two eyes. Yeah.
Well, this is what I was talking about. This is the Amazon Echo Show 10, which would move and I guess, I don't know, as track you somehow, somewhere. But this wasn't particularly popular. I don't think it was particularly successful for Amazon. But I mean, if this is kind of what they envisage, even if it's something that looks like this, I mean, not a bad idea if it has a built-in like HomePod attached to it.
What's the biggest seller? What's the USP for an iPad? What's the first thing?
369, maybe a little less.
No, the USP. What's the unique selling point of an iPad? So why would people buy an iPad? Because they're pretty portable, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. What you doing? Yeah.
Well,
so
if you read that
can
article,
walk around with an iPad.
But
why does it?
So the Google Pixel tablet, it's got a dock. It's the perfect marriage of both because it can be a home assistant. And you could pop it off, use it as a tablet. I think Google had it right. So in that article, did you hear? Did you read what it said at the end? Please, Apple, make the screen detachable like a tablet.
Yes.
Yeah.
People want that. That's the crazy
Make a
thing.
glorified dock for your iPad. Though.
iPad, yeah. So here is what I was thinking. The reason I think this might be more of a home assistant, I think they're going to leverage a lot of the AI stuff that's coming with the new iPhones. They want something that people can have in their home and they don't have to always use their phone. Big screen, it follows you. You can do your FaceTime calls and do all of that. It's a cool idea. Do I think it's going to work? Probably not that well. Will it get shelved? I don't know. But from what that article is basically saying is that they've been working on it for some time. It's a hub-style touchscreen assistant.
The problem I have with something like that is, Android's pretty open. I mean, they're getting more closed off, but like, if I wanted to video chat with somebody at Google Meet, it'd work. If I wanted to use Zoom, if I wanted to use WhatsApp or whatever, I can install an app on my tablet and use it. Apple's limited to just Apple products. So here in the U.S., that's definitely not a problem because everyone seems to love Apple. But if you're in India or if you're in wherever, I don't know if that's a good selling point. I don't know.
Yeah, the green bubble issue isn't an issue over here. Most people are Android, unlike in America, the iPhone. The one thing I would say is Apple aren't one of the richest companies in the world for no reason. If you've got a business head on, you've got, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of HomePods sitting in a warehouse that nobody bought. If you can manufacture a little implement to slap 10.2 inch, 10th generation iPad, you could slap to it. There you go. You've made a new product using old parts. That would be the business head of me thinking.
I want to work in the R&D at Apple because I take Apple Vision Pros that didn't sell, HomePods that didn't sell.
Yeah.
And you could marriage some pretty crazy. And
Devin's actually like a big computer creator guy. So Devin, if you were going to do this, buddy, you could put this together. I can just see Devin gluing an iPad mini on a remote control car and just fucking turning that thing around.
Okay, we got it. Tech disruptors are going to buy the product. The misfit toys of Apple. We're going to send them to Devin. He's going to put them together, and then we're going to sell these things to Mike.
Yeah,
I still need the arms.
I'm in.
Like I
Deal.
still
the
I'm still trying
robot
to figure
arm.
the
I don't know
arm
what
thing
you
out.
guys picture
Yeah.
there. I picture something from like a 80s sci-fi movie. Just
Johnny
kinda like,
Five, short
like
circuit.
Johnny Five.
Johnny
Yeah.
Five, yes.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I picture.
Again,
but
these are rumors. I don't know how realistic an arm would be, and then what, like Mike said, what use case scenario would you use an arm for? I mean, mixing
Listen.
my noodles. I mean, that's
hang on a
weird.
second. If that arm can extend out and I can high five the iPad screen with a fake digital hand, fuck, I'm all in.
I do. I
That would be
Darren, I thought you were
amazing.
going the total opposite way.
Oh
with
yeah,
that
I know.
hand.
I was trying to keep it PG.
I thought you were
there.
going
Hey.
south with that.
Just get the Me Friend AI pin and an arm
Yeah.
from Apple, and you've got a good night in there.
That's
Hey.
right, right?
Well, no. What was that pin? Is that
That's
what
what
you're
we're talking about
the-
last
the
week,
my
yeah.
friend? Oh my
That was
god!
I
Could
watched
you
it
imagine
last
the
night,
commercial?
like your last episode I watched, and it was hilarious. That friend
Yeah.
thing is just.
Could
I
you
mean, they
imagine
put a
that
lot
pin?
into the advert of that as well, though. The production, my
It was
God, yeah.
amazing. Yeah, I'm not gonna. We had a good laugh at that. We talked
Yeah.
about that for like 20 minutes last week because we couldn't believe it existed.
Well,
let
no,
alone-
what's worse was the videos. Like, who the
Yeah.
hell made those videos?
Oh
Yeah.
man, listen, I
Ever
always wanted a
decided
friend.
like this is going to be the marketing point. This is going to be what sells it for people.
Friend, if you're listening,
Exactly, yeah.
get an arm that can
Yes.
attach somewhere, and you're
Yes.
going to have a lot of other population and other people looking into your
Well,
product.
so
Indeed.
Mike, one of the things we do regularly on this show is we talk about like the crazy AI stuff that's happening in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And like a lot of AI stuff, a lot of the articles we've been talking about recently have been just kind of weird, crazy AI things. So I don't know if you guys caught this article, but Waymo. So I don't know if you guys, Mike, you do. I don't know if you have used in the UK, but they're kind of like autonomous driving Uber that
Mm-hmm.
exists in the States. So basically, completely driverless cars pick you up and drive you to your destination.
Hey, Darren,
using
can I say
AI.
something real quick?
Yeah.
So my kids watch YouTube, and they watch this channel called FGTV.
Yes.
Pretty big, and they had an episode just released for like maybe today, where they're
Yeah.
in San Francisco, and they actually hail a Waymo.
Waymo,
And they
yeah.
get in it, and he's sitting in the passenger seat, and it says there's a warning sign on the steering wheel: "Do not touch the steering wheel. Your Waymo driver is driving the vehicle."
Yeah. Yeah.
It's weird.
So okay,
It's
so
weird.
I wanted to bring this up because Waymo leverages a lot of AI autonomous driving technology.
Mhm.
So this bizarre article came out this week about a neighborhood parking lot where at 4 a.m. in the morning, every morning, all of the Waymo cars are coming together,
I saw this.
self-parking and honking at each other. And I've got a video. I want to show you this because I have the video here.
Is
So
this what they're talking about? Where they're
What's
scared about these
going
cars
on?
communicating?
yeah, so I'll pull up the video here. This is the video that's from YouTube. This is outside of someone's window. Now remember, this is autonomous cars. No one is driving.
Have you guys ever seen Maximum Overdrive in the 80s? I think it's Emilio Estevez is in it.
Yeah.
Where
Okay,
things
so
come to life and like attack us. That's a
So-
scene from that movie.
Well, it's
I
like
was
the movie
re-
Carrie as well, isn't it? Yeah.
What is it?
yes.
Carrie, the car. Yeah.
So it's located this. I don't know where this is in the world. It's on CBS News. I caught it, but basically, this is a screenshot of the parking lot. Now, this is. I don't know if this is like a software thing. I don't know if they have to come together at some point, like they all link back up. But essentially, the cars are meeting in this parking lot, self-parking, and communicating with each other. Honking at each other. I don't even know how to explain what this is, but this was a little bit concerning for me because so obviously CBS covers this because the 4 a.m. honking is waking people up in the middle of the night. You've just got repeated horn honking.
What it looked like to me is that the honking is like letting them know, hey, park here, like it's like a check-in system. I don't think it's
That's
actually anything more
communicating with each other. This is the problem, people. These cars are talking to each other and
than-
fucking
Wait, is that a
self-parking.
Skynet sign I see over there?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's a T1000 right there.
Yeah. So these residents of San Francisco upset, obviously, because it would piss me off if fucking driverless cars were communicating with each other at 4 a.m. every single morning, which is what they're doing. But I almost wonder, like, and I know that says here the vehicle gossip sessions are waking up human neighbors. What is it? Why are they coming together?
Yeah, that's my question: is why? Why are
Yeah.
we have a thing here in the UK? It's a big thing. I haven't partaken, but it's called dogging. Essentially, you go to a random car park. It's dark at night. You flash your lights. Some lady of the night might come over and sort you right out. It feels like the cars are just maybe looking for a good time.
They're reaching out to the people of the night.
And
they need the arm.
Yeah. But from this, I saw some information like they're trying to pass a bill now or something where EVs in general cannot communicate with each other. So can we not buy EVs anymore because at one point someone's going to take us over? And
I don't know. I mean, look, I'll be honest with you. A lot of this AI stuff for me is interesting. I like what these things do, especially the robotics stuff always makes me laugh because what they've made robotics possible and able to do is just fucking fascinating to me. But it gets better. So I wanted another AI story that caught my attention this week, which is probably even a little bit creepier than this, was an article on the website Ars Technica. And I'm going to just pull this up again so we can...
Dang, Darren, I thought you were going to play Max and Me.
Mac and Me hasn't come on yet.
Mac and Me. I was getting ready to kick you out again.
All right, so I'm going to give you some context here. So in Tokyo, they have an AI research scientific bot called Sakana. And essentially, it attempts to conduct scientific research autonomously, right? So they kind of give it a problem and it does the research. It tries to resolve the problem. This week, this AI Sakana decided that it couldn't resolve a scientific issue that had been proposed to it. So it went into its own code and rewrote it to give it more time.
Okay, that's game over then, guys.
Who gave this AI model access to itself? It sounds like this needs to be controlled by the American government or something.
Yes. So I saw this and went, we're like dooming. I have like the whole code here for those of you who are interested in code, but it went in there and essentially tried to give itself more time. So, and I don't know if it's from shame or embarrassment or I don't know what that is, what that feeling is.
What's the Marvel Avengers where
AI's...
it's like Ultron.
Yeah.
We're going to be all lifted in the air and we're going to have, the Avengers save us.
I'm maybe naive here though, but does at some point when the manufacturer, the code, the initial code writers writing the rules and the script, I assume they've put into their code that the robot can do this by itself and that's the parameter, or has it just decided this is out of the code, I'm just doing my own thing? Or is it, if you can't solve something, take extra time? So it wasn't really its decision, it was already done by the human that wrote the code? I don't know. I've not read the article.
I'm not a code writer. I wrote code a long time ago and I didn't do very good at it, but I would assume it's not so much that they allowed it, is that they didn't allow it. Like they didn't say, hey, you can't, this is your time frame, you got to stop.
So
and I said, no, to Devin, I'm taking more time.
Yeah, like to Devin's thing, it's not necessarily the U.S., but they need more. This is why AI needs that, not government. I shouldn't say government. I mean, how you look at it, but some kind of moderation. That way, we don't have these. This is the kind of stuff that scares the general public away from AI, and AI is going to be beneficial if we can keep it under control to a certain extent.
Well, so here's the thing, and I like this, and for me, it's not necessarily the fact that it did it, it's why. And like I said, I jokingly said there, like, is it shame and embarrassment, which would, and this is kind of brings us back to this big idea of like AI becoming sentient and being able to think for itself. Why did it do it? Now, it just says here that it simply tried to modify its own code to extend the timeout period. That means like a high school kid or a kid in elementary school, it basically said, oh shit, I'm not going to get my work done in time. I wish I had more time. And that, like, I don't know, when you were a kid, like you set the clock back or like
whatever. Yeah.
And that's out of fear, embarrassment, and shame.
No.
Well,
but
I'm sure that
it's testing its boundaries.
Or testing boundaries. Yeah, that's another good way to look at it. Yeah.
Hey, I can extend my time. Now I'm even more sentient. Now I can do I'm going to take over the world.
Yeah, well, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it's already changing the time, what else can it change, right? Like, those parameters are there for a reason.
What were you going to say, Devin?
Yeah, sorry, Devin.
I remember reading an article a while ago. I'm sure that you guys saw the same one where there was some like military drone or something that was using AI to go and find its targets, and then something about the person operating it said, okay, no, you're done, come home. And it tried to then take out the operator so that it could finish its mission, so that it can continue taking out its targets.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and the explanation that they used there was it was programmed to do this specific thing. And so it knew that it could do that thing and it could accomplish its mission, better if that operator wasn't there. Right.
So you're saying is buy my kids a drone. And if it doesn't do what it says, it's going to come back and attack.
Exactly.
I think that's ultimately a great point. It's been programmed. It's there for a purpose. Its purpose is to complete whatever it's been asked to do.
Right, yeah.
What it's essentially trying to do is say, well, actually, the time frame you give me is enough, so I'll just extend it. But where does that end? Do you know? It's that what is the mission it's been given, and where does it stop? That's the scary part.
Well, then you look at Gemini. Like we saw I know maybe I'm jumping too far ahead, but we see these weird, like you just showed these in the drone stuff. And then you look at the live stream. Well, Google did make a mistake. Some of their demos didn't go as planned in that live stream. But the Gemini stuff, where it was natural speaking, the Gemini Live or whatever they call it. I mean, you can tell there's a level of moderation there. And obviously AI is not perfect, but it's a stark contrast between a military drone attacking its handler, I guess you could say, and Gemini Live having a sarcastic conversation with you.
Yes.
I don't know.
I know.
That's where it comes like, and I'm not saying it's the US. I just think that the UK is real big on this. The EU is, to some extent they go too far, but I'd rather them go too far and then backtrack than not do enough, and then we'd be in a hole. So
for sure. Yeah. No, I agree. It's interesting times as long as we all stay alive to see it.
That's exactly right. I mean, look, we already know you can buy a friend pin, right? And then it'll just talk to you.
Yes, I should plug my website now, rentafriend.com. Yes. You can rent a friend, and it's low prices, 19.
He shows up at your house.
I'm not only the president, I'm also a member.
He holds up the boombox. Holds up the boombox outside your window,
Wow.
Anyway, so just a couple of fun little AI stories there. Now, great segue here because I don't know if you know, but this massive media company, you may have heard of them, Google, had a big release this week. But they Google Pixels. There's folding phones and all kinds of things. So watches, the whole lot. So let's break down everything that was launched this week from Google.
Before you break it down. Who ordered, or let me rephrase that. Who pre-ordered what, if anything?
9 Pro XL for me.
Okay. Devin, you raised your hand?
Standard 9 for me. I had to go with the green.
Okay.
9 Pro XL porcelain and 9 Pro Fold porcelain.
Nice. Yeah.
Okay.
And Jason, what did you want?
Yeah. Well, I got the 9 Pro XL, and I upgraded my wife's Pixel 8 to a Pixel 9. I mean, with the trade-in values, they gave you like $500. I mean, it's ridiculous. Yeah. The Fold I want to get because I have the Fold 1. Even with the trade-in, it's going to be about $1,000.
Still crazy expensive.
I'm still scared to jump on it because I've kind of backed off foldables for a little while just because I haven't been impressed.
Yeah.
But this new Fold looks pretty good. The only issue I have is that Tensor G4. Is it going to really be?
Before we jump into the Fold, can I just give you fucked up Canadian pricing?
Oh yes,
33.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
So
was it like $14,000 for the 9?
So Pixel 9 Pro Fold, 256 gigabyte Obsidian. How much in Canadian dollars? Mike, you get one guess.
We're all gonna guess. What was it?
3,000. Devin?
I was gonna say like 23, probably 23.50.
I'm gonna say 28, and whoever's the closest, Darren's gonna buy you a Fold. Great,
yes, nice. $2,700.
Holy
Canadian.
crap!
I was exaggerating.
That's
with you. That's
no
ridiculous.
trade-in, no trade-in. That's straight up like out-of-pocket price.
Now,
Now,
do they
if I
give you
wanted-
equal amount on trade-in? So, like, will they give you double the price on a trade-in?
So if I was to trade in my
They give you $1.
iPhone 15 Pro Max, $735
What?
is all they're giving. That's
Are you
it.
kidding
Oh
me?
my
That's it.
God.
Yeah.
Hey, Darren, can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
Um,
Sell a kidney?
no, not necessarily sell a kidney. Maybe move to the U.S. or a place
Yeah,
for
I
a
know.
dollar's worth of less.
I know, seriously. Listen, I'm gonna keep bitching about this because I don't understand it either. I know we pay we pay the tax for it to travel an extra 30 kilometers from the New York
I'm just
border.
saying, but
to
the U.S. offers a lot. We have cheaper tech. We have crazy politics. We have a guy with missing hair and all kinds of
better
crazy stuff
cell
going
phone
on.
plans.
Yeah, it's crazy. You should come on
Missing
down.
hair, missing ears. Yeah, there's a lot going on over your way. We
So, it's
make you
not-
feel
not-
better though.
What do you say?
Ours is £1,750, so Great British pounds, 1,750, which works out to be about 2,200 something dollars for the Pixel
Yeah.
Fold. So we're not much better than you when it comes to that price. We get shafted in the UK as well.
18 people are bitching
And
about
for
the
the
price,
record,
but it's the
Mike-
same price as last year. I don't think it's a slap in the face
Oh no,
necessarily.
and isolation, the price is the same as last year, as you say. And for me, it's a massive upgrade in
It is a
some
huge
respects
upgrade
of
from their
form
first one.
factor, the inner screen.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just think in general, foldable prices have to come down as a whole. And people like Samsung and Google lead the way, and that's why Samsung annoy me so much.
Samsung is never going to lead the way on that until they get some more competition. That's the problem.
So, Mike,
Yeah.
I did think about importing it from the UK, but it would cost me $3,098 on the conversion. Just for the record there, but
So look,
Wow.
Devin told me before you got on that he had an extra room in his house. You
It's
go down
true.
there, stay there for a week. You
Yeah,
get
I'm
it
just-
ordered. It'll come up in
Yeah.
his house, and then you can take it home, and you can just drive on back home.
I honestly, but
Use
listen,
your Waymo. Get the Waymo self-driving vehicle and drive you.
As long as it's not honking at 4 a.m., that's fine.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what the thing is, and you know, like, so we didn't get the original Pixel Fold here in Canada.
Right.
It just wasn't released here. I imported. I bought it off a third-party seller here. I think I paid $2,300 for the first OG
Oh
Fold.
my god!
Now it's here in Canada. And look, I mean, I love tech. I'm fighting with myself to not pay that crazy amount of dollars. But I'm waiting. For me, I always buy the biggest Pro model they have. That's been me doing that yearly for years now. I'm waiting to see what reviews are like because I'm not jumping on the Fold bandwagon just yet.
Well, here's the good news: the Pro
Yeah.
and the Pro XL are exactly the same except for size. They made
Yes.
a huge leap there. I think that's a
Yeah.
great idea.
Great idea,
Unlike
yeah.
even the Pro 15 Pro and the 15 Pro Max have a slightly different camera, very minute.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
I think with the Fold and the Pixel line in general, if you wait till Christmas, they're going to have
Yeah.
huge discounts. At least here in the U.S., I can't.
They don't.
Canada will probably
Yeah.
charge you double, but I mean,
Yeah,
they don't have
yeah, it's
Christmas
like
in Canada. You have like National Maple Syrup Day or something. I don't
This
know.
is true. This is true.
If
So that's a
Boxing Day-
very quick, very good point, though, is why can't the Fold be the same? Why can't it be the same
Yes.
cameras, everything on the 9, then
If
the
it's-
9
yeah.
Pro,
You're right.
the 9 Pro, sorry, the 9 Pro XL, then 9, then you'd almost justify a $1,750 price
Yes.
tag if it had the same cameras. The issue for me is, well, you're bumping the price up by $500, but the cameras are getting worse.
So
This is-
here is my issue.
is hold on, average
Yeah.
Mike or average dad, whatever. what is the
Mike.
reason for that? Because Samsung's doing the same thing. Like they're making these foldables, but they're not making the cameras. There's got to be something internal that's keeping these cameras from being that much better.
No, there's nothing internal. The Vivo X Fold 3 Pro is thinner than the Samsung by some distance, and it has a 1/1.1 inch sensor. It's got triple
Wow.
camera, but it's got the biggest telephoto lens in any Fold and in most candy bar phones. It's not size, it's money. That's all it
Yeah.
is. It's parts they've got lying around. They rely on software. Samsung. I can
Well, like
speak
you
for
said,
days, but
they're
yeah.
$1 trillion companies for a reason, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know what's been pissing me off about this Pixel 9 series release, especially with the Pro, the Fold. Every interview I've seen, there has been these tech people saying that it's the same size as the Pixel 9 Pro. So why couldn't they just take the fucking Pixel 9 Pro and add that fucking top screen? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're comparing it to the Pixel 9 Pro with the Pro cameras and all of that, then it begs the question is, like, why wouldn't they just add the additional screen with the hinge?
Yeah.
Right? I don't know, it's money, and Mike's right.
Yep.
Mike hit the nail on the head.
Well,
It's
going back to the cameras, though. Is the Pro, the new Fold, are the cameras different from the original Fold?
No.
Same cameras.
There's no changes that I
believe they're exact same cameras.
Okay,
maybe
so
the process.
As we know, I know I'm being a Google fan here. We know for a while with the Pixel, and even the not Nexus, the Pixel, they had that same 12 megapixel camera for like 4 or 5 years, and it's all about processing. So I to a certain extent, I think, I mean, there's enough upgrades in the new Fold where I think it's a hell of a deal, just with the screen, the hinge, the thinness, the processor, the memory, that I'm not too concerned about the cameras, because I have the Fold 1, and while the cameras aren't fantastic, they're not Pixel 8 Pro good. They're definitely better than, I want to say they're kind of better than the Samsung, but I haven't had a Samsung Fold in a while. The last one I had was the 4, I think.
If you allow me a minute to go talk about this phone here,
we have to.
Tell you why. So I very, very quickly, I made a video last week, I was telling Darren about this, saying how this is one of the biggest scams in tech history. Now, granted, that title was, it grabbed a bit of attention, it got some heat.
Really?
Kind of not wrong, though.
But I stand firm against it. I released a follow-up today because it arrived today. This was before it came, and I said, so I had the original OnePlus Open. I also imported the Oppo Find N3 Red 1 terabyte. That is this phone. No, he's just joking. No, it is exactly this phone. It's got the slider with the VIP mode that Tech Odyssey, who we'll talk about in a second. He's got a channel. Don't know if you've watched it, but he made a follow-up and he kind of called me out in that just today or yesterday. Anyway, and he was saying this is an upgrade. This is $1,900. Okay, this one here, $1,900 in the US, whereas you can pick up a normal OnePlus Open half terabyte for like $1,300. So essentially, you're paying $600 for half a terabyte of storage. Even Apple don't charge that. So to me,
one less year of upgrades.
Scam. One less year of software support. The 8 Gen 2 chip, we're going to have the 8 Gen 4 in a couple of months. So it's almost a 2-year-old SoC. $1,900. How people can't see, and I had so many people in the comments like, oh, but OnePlus, like Apple and Samsung do this all the time. No, they don't. Apple and Samsung have iterations on their cameras, different software, new chips. Samsung always bring out the latest 8 Gen 3 overclock chip. OnePlus have literally just brought out last year's phone.
It's a money grab. That's a money grab.
And that's the part that really annoys me.
What I will say, though, in support of that, their trade-in is pretty decent.
It's way better.
Google's.
Yes.
So, like, if you didn't have the Open before and you like the new color, I guess with trade-ins, it wouldn't be terrible, but you're right. This is a total money grab for OnePlus.
Okay,
again,
now
in the US, the most you can get trade-in, no matter which phone, is £470 in the UK, and this is £1,600 in the UK. In the US, you may be right.
There was like I want to say it was like $460 for the Fold 1, the Google. Then they had like a code where you got $350 extra off. So it was like 1 terabyte for life or something. You type it in and it got you you got like roughly about $800 off.
I can beat this with fucked up Canadian prices, volume 33. So the red Apex OnePlus Open, I could get that phone.
Hold on, can we guess?
Right? No, you don't need to guess. I can get it for $800 cheaper than the brand new Pixel 9 Pro Fold.
How?
It's just different pricing. It's just cheaper.
So instead of a full kidney, you only need a half a kidney.
Exactly, yeah. So I could keep half and grow back.
That's an interesting one, though, because where the debate between the Apex edition of the OnePlus compared to like the Vivo X Fold 3 Pro, which I will do a video on, the X Fold 3 Pro's got the 8 Gen 3 chip.
Yeah.
But when you're comparing the 8 Gen 2 chip in the OnePlus Open to the Tensor G4,
Yeah.
Probably still going to pick the 8 Gen 2 chip, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
So that-
You're 100%. Yeah, but
Yeah.
the Google
Yeah.
software, I don't know.
I know.
That might sell it. I don't know. That's why I'm
It's
waiting
the
for
biggest
reviews.
selling point. It's the biggest selling
Yeah,
point.
it is.
Same with
It is.
Samsung. That's what's keeping Samsung going. One UI is still my favorite Android skin. In
For
general, I
foldables?
think One UI.
For
Mhm.
foldables? For foldables?
I think
in
even I've got the
general?
S24 Ultra on my desk. Just in
Okay.
general, I just
Yeah.
One UI just works with the Good Lock app. I just think it's smooth and clean.
It's like Samsung is it's like Tesla of EVs. Like Tesla's been around forever, so they've worked out a lot of kinks.
it's
Like
fine
Samsung,
tuned. Yeah.
they're on their 6th generation of foldables, so they pretty much work. That's why they don't have to make crazy upgrades because they're working out and they're fine tuning. So
So, Devin, I'm going to start with you. Are you a Team Pixel guy, Devin?
I'm not.
Mike, are
officially.
you a Pixel guy?
Not anymore. No, definitely not.
No. Jason, are you a Team Pixel guy?
I'm a Pixel super fan.
Oh, Pixel.
I am a I am. I was invited to hashtag Pixel Superfan probably 7 years ago. but
Right.
I have never been invited to be Team Pixel.
I've never been officially welcomed into Team Pixel. I don't have a badge. I don't have a fucking medal.
Err.
I wish I did. But now, so I want to talk a little bit about this because this blew up just in the last 24 hours. And there's a great article over on The Verge right now. If you want to know.
I even got the water bottle.
Yeah. Oh, nice. There you go.
Ooh.
He sold his soul for that, by the way.
Oh,
No,
So-
no. In their defense, when Pixel Superfans first started, I was in the beginning, and they would have what is it, Kahoot, like those online games, and you
Yep.
would be in a group of 500 people, and you just answer questions, and if you won, you got a prize. I won a Pixel 4a 5G one year. They sent
Nice.
me shirts and socks, but now it's there was no pressure because you just had fun. You talk to people. Now it's you have to make videos. You have to be. It's a little different now.
Okay, so let's break this down because I think there's a lot to talk about here with this. So for those of you who are maybe unfamiliar and hearing this for the first time, so Google's under a little bit of fire right now because it's been discovered that if you are one of these Team Pixel members, you had to agree to some certain conditions. And basically here, they've got it on the screen here, but I'll read it out to you for those who are listening on Spotify. But it says here, by opting into this program, do you acknowledge that you are expected to feature the Google Pixel device in place of any competitor mobile devices? Please note that if it appears that other brands are being preferred over the Pixel, we will need to cease the relationship with the brand and the creator. And you had to agree and acknowledge this particular condition. Now, the idea here is, and what Google's trying to do is basically say, you want us to send you a review unit, a sample of our latest Pixel devices, then you've got to make sure you're truly and wholeheartedly Team Pixel. You cannot say anything disparaging. You have to be all on the Pixel bandwagon. Now,
Well, hold on. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of confused by this question. So I'm a huge Google fan, but I use other devices. So let's say I have a channel and I feature lots of other products. The Google Pixel, I'm on Team Pixel. They send me a phone.
Yeah.
I do a pretty positive video, kind of like MKBSD, just hey,
Yeah.
this is what came out.
Yep.
And then I release it. And then the next day I do a video on the OnePlus Open that
Yeah,
Mike
you're
has.
gone.
Is it though? I mean,
Yeah.
I think,
That's exactly what this says. Basically, they're saying here that you can't prefer another device over the Google Pixel. So if you say, the Pixel 9 Pro takes really good photos, but not as good as the OnePlus 12, or not as good as a Vivo X100 Pro, the minute that gets recognized and acknowledged that you're not preferring that device that they sent you, then they're basically saying, we're going to have to say goodbye. Which
I'm conjuring up a situation in my head where we all know Donald Trump. I don't care if you're in the U.S. or not.
Yes.
It's all made up. It's a fake. It's fake. The election was stolen. Google's going to come out and say, we didn't do that. Who made that? We didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
There's two sides of the story. And I'm going
Yes.
to give just a couple cents. I think Mike's going to probably disagree with me here. Google is basically wants positive press. And I get where they're coming from. And I
Yeah.
think Samsung, Apple probably do this to some extent, maybe not that extreme, which is this is stupid on their part. On the flip side, whoever shared that is dumb because they just I mean, I guess to say dumb, it doesn't seem right, but to me, like Mr. Who's the Boss is the one that came out most prominently about this, and he's got what 20 million subscribers, 17. I mean, is not getting a free phone really that big of a deal where you have to share it? Just say, okay, Google, I'm not going to agree. I'm going to buy the phones and I'm going to go ahead and review them on my own. I don't
Yeah.
get it. If you don't want to be Team Pixel, then just say no. Why do you got to go up and say Google's terrible, they're idiots? Because
Yeah.
Google Hardware's department is probably a separate entity from their social media. So
Yes. So
just, and I don't think this is going to affect general public because they don't really care about this stuff. I just think in the tech, we're just so first world problem issues like,
yeah.
hey, I've got 20 million subscribers. I make $10,000 a month on my views, but I'm going to go ahead and say, hey, Google, you didn't invite me. I'm mad at you. Like, I'm going to throw a fit. That's the way I look at it, but I could be totally off because I'm not a big YouTuber and I don't have any brand deals myself.
Yeah. So, okay. So I'll come back. I want to just touch on that in a second, but I just want to ask you, Devin. So, Devin, does this rub you the wrong way as a Pixel fan?
I don't think so. I think this sounds to me like I'm kind of in the same boat as Jason. Like I don't have a ton of brand deals, but I would kind of expect this kind of thing if you're getting a bunch of free gear, if you're expected to be,
Yeah.
part of this team of influencers that's helping promote this device. Like,
Right.
why else would they be paying you through free devices if you're not giving them
Yeah.
good advertising like that? It sounds pretty common sense to me.
Yeah.
I get everybody's argument that like there's going to be people that are reviewing these devices and acting like, and
fantastic.
parading,
Yeah.
parading like this is an unbiased review, just like everybody else on YouTube. But this sounds like super normal to me. I don't
Well,
know.
Yeah.
Devin, no, Devin's
Yeah.
right. And Darren, before you go to Mike, because I think this is where his point's going to be,
Yeah.
is if I came out and said, look, I'm part of Team Pixel, I was supplied this phone for free, my views may or may not be biased. If you explicitly say that at the beginning, I don't think it's much of an issue. Like Mr. Who's Boss, I don't know if he says that, but like Michael Fisher says, hey, these are solely my opinions and my opinions alone. I'm not sponsored, or hey, they gave these to me, but they didn't give me. If I say Google supplied these to me with the expectation I would be positive about this,
Yeah.
I think a little warning, written or verbal, would go a long way. But the fact that you
Yeah.
have, I don't know, I don't want to take time from anybody else, but to me, it's just like if Ford said, "Hey, I'm going to send you a brand new Mustang," and if you say it's, and I say, "Well, great, I love Mustangs,"
Yeah.
and you get it, you're like, "This thing's a freaking dog. It's crap."
Yeah, you just keep your opinions to yourself. And
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
like,
I
then they're gonna
understand
be
you want to
mad.
share them with your followers, but I also feel like these YouTubers, it's gives them the fuel. Look how many fucking videos and posts there've been from these idiots going, "Oh, I'm leaving Team Pixel. It's over."
R.I.P. Tim
Fuck
Pixel.
off. You know what,
Sorry,
dude?
but hey, Darren, hold on.
Yeah.
Mike, you got a pretty
Yeah.
good following on YouTube. Do you agree or disagree? That's the
Perfect.
question.
Good segue.
For me, I am fortunate enough to not have to, even if I was offered to, I can buy my own. I don't need to. And the reason I'd always do that is because my reviews are always going to be honest. And the
Thank
keyword
you.
there is review. I'm going to give you my honest opinions. Essentially, what Google are getting people to sign up to here is it's an advertisement. It's not a review. It's not your honest opinions. And as
Yeah.
you said, if you're going to put that at the start of the video, then great. But that to me completely deflects from everything that YouTube tech reviewers are trying to do. You're trying to get away from all the bump and spiel and the media packs that you read and the adverts you see on telly. You want to get to the nuts and bolts. Google are shadowing the lines here, and you talk about big people with big followings, but I've got like 30K or whatever it is subs. For someone like me that wasn't in a financially good situation or couldn't afford to go and buy these phones, if you're getting offered a Pixel you're going to do anything to get that Pixel for free so you can get it for your channel, because
Right.
it's going to
Yeah.
lead to views and subs and all this stuff, and that's manipulative. And that's the part I don't agree with. I at all
Sure.
points, unless it's a specific ad, unless you specifically joined up to their affiliate program, you're a paid member of Team Pixel, then that's different. But if you're just your typical reviewer and it's a typical review unit you've been given, there should be no preamble. There should be no document to say your Team Pixel. I take all points. I just personally would never do it.
Well, wouldn't it be similar to like the Snapdragon Insiders? Don't they do similar stuff where they're
I guess
Snapdragon products? And if you say, "Oh, I'm going to MediaTek," they're gonna make, "Sorry, we're done with you," right?
Yeah.
And Snapdragon makes good products. Pixels are good devices. You're right. God, it's a tough situation. I think being small as I am, I wouldn't try everything to get a Pixel device. If Google said, "Hey, we noticed you've been doing some Google,
content.
We want to extend an invite Team Pixel." And if I said, "Well, if I'm okay with this, would I be allowed to say, hey, just to give you guys a heads up, I've got these devices for free. Some of this stuff may be, biased because I'm told to do this." But you're right. It's more of an advertisement, not a review. I don't think Google is supplying you to say, you must do a review. If the phone falls apart and the screen stops working, I think the first thing you're going to do is say, "Hey, Google, my phone just messed up." But I don't know. I think some of these bigger YouTubers can afford it, though. Like you said, me
for
personally,
sure.
Yeah.
It's the one, but you've got to think of customers. Obviously, like I'm recently on a major conundrum because I do all these reviews, but now I stock these phones in the store, and I get comments saying, "Oh, you're just trying to push sales," and I get how people would come across that. But that's absolutely not what I'm trying to do. And same with the Pixel thing. Like if you're advertising the Pixel and you're not reviewing it properly, then you are just essentially just pushing sales to young people or whatever demographic who maybe aren't as clued in. They're just going to use their card, be like, "Oh, well, he said it's really good. I respect MKBHD, so what he says." And that's the issue I've got, is people that maybe aren't as savvy to it are getting manipulated to buy these things. For me, what Google should do, if they, on the back of this, is scrap that, and the next time they're releasing is just say, "Here's our agreement for influencers." Nothing, just a blank paper. Say what you like. That's the best marketing anybody could do. So we don't have we trust our phone so much that you can say whatever you like. That's what people should do.
From my understanding, though, Google is still sending out like separate review units to different people.
Yes.
And then Team Pixel is literally like their promotion side of things. Like
Pixel super fans.
So
we are there to be like a fan.
Yeah.
Exactly
I kind of see this as like, it is a bad thing when somebody on Team Pixel uses that device for a review for their channel, but then they are contractually obligated to say something good about it, right? But isn't that more on the creator for doing that? Like, I get it. I'm in the same boat. I would love to get a free Pixel device to be able to review on my channel, whatever. But isn't that more on me for being bad than Google for saying,
But
Mike, very good point. You're spot on. Really good point.
If I was a big YouTuber, which I'm not, but if I was, and I had a bunch of young people watching my videos, and I live in the U.S., I want to push the Google Pixel.
So exactly.
The iPhone dominates. Nothing against. I have an iPhone 15 Pro Max, but I want competition. I don't want 70-30. I don't want 70% people using the iPhone, 30% using, because in the U.S., when someone looks at a phone, they're like, "Oh, it's not an iPhone." That's exactly what they say. It's not an iPhone.
Yeah. We're got a saying here at the Tech Disruptors podcast: if it ain't iPhone, it ain't shit. Because that's exactly the mentality, right, of North America. That's exactly what it is. I as somebody who reviews products, I'm not Team Pixel. I'm not Pixel super fan. My connection with Google is that I have reviewed their products in the past. But that was because I struck up a collaborative relationship with Google Canada. And because I did that, if they send me something, great. If they don't, they don't. And some years I get stuff, other years I don't. It just depends on whether they want to send it to me.
But you work your butt off for that.
I do. I work hard to make
Team
those
Pixel,
connections.
They're going to send me something for free.
Yeah.
Oh, now they want me to say something positive? Heck no, I'm sending it back. It's a different avenue. Like Devin said, you're going at it as, I have a tech review channel, YouTube channel. I will do my best to give a whatever review on this. Yeah. And they say, "Okay, we want to work with you. Here you go." Whereas Team Pixel is touted as a Pixel super fan. We're here to promote the Pixel. I mean, I get why they're doing it. I just think it was done kind of not very tastefully. And I think someone who had their butt hurt a little bit decided to
Yes.
share it online and made it
Yep.
look, everyone look bad. And Google, in the end of the day, Google, Apple, they're all businesses. They want to make money. So
Yeah.
as bad as you say, oh, I didn't get a free phone, first world problems, they're a business. They want to make money. They'll move on to the next person who will sell their product.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, and there are lots of people out there who will go, "Oh, okay, you want me to say only good things? Sure." Thanks for the
before-
phone. Yeah,
but
like
In
yeah.
social media, please, if you guys want to be hashtag Team Tech Disruptors, we're more than happy to
Yeah, like
have you
send
talk.
it,
But
put that out
if you
there.
say anything negative, we're cutting you off. R.I.P.
That's right. That's it. We're coming for you. We're coming for
Hell
you.
yeah.
We're gonna find you.
Well, listen,
Not signing that one.
a big Devin's our muscle.
Yeah, there you go.
A big week in tech this week, and we didn't even touch on the Pixel Watch 3 and the Buds 2 Pro,
Gemini,
but-
nothing.
Gemini,
nothing.
all that fun stuff. But that'll be for another show. That actually brings us to the end of our podcast this week. Mike, thank you very much. Average Dad, check him out on YouTube. He's a great guy. Knows his stuff. Knows his way around a good foldable. And I'm sure a lot of other things too. Devin's become our regular co-host on this show. This is like your third week straight, Devin. We appreciate you, mate.
Yeah,
We love
something
you.
like that,
having
yeah.
you on.
I'm surprised we haven't scared you off. That's
I know,
what's
it's
funny.
true.
Yeah,
It's
it's
Look at
it's
his
nice
face.
to-
I scare
I
people
know,
off
it's-
every day. So
it's
Yeah.
it's nice to have people to talk to about
there
this.
you
Yes.
go.
It's
There you
fun.
go.
Listen,
Doesn't
we
matter
didn't even
how
talk
ugly
about.
you are, how fine.
Well, we didn't even talk about Jason's OnlyFans today. We didn't talk about
Not
any
yet,
of that
not
stuff.
yet,
So,
not yet.
you know, we don't want to scare
He
Mike
did-
away.
He
just
did
yet.
plug
Send me
his-
the link.
his-
Send me the
his
link.
friend,
Send your link,
the
done.
link.
Well, listen, we are the Tech Disruptors. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere you find good podcasts. And hit that like and subscribe button. We're here every week talking all the latest tech. Mike, thank you very much for being on. Devin, Jason, as usual. And listen, be nice to the Team Pixel, okay? They're good guys. I know they're not always saying you have to do certain things a certain way, all right? Have an open mind. Go
And I
into
can't
this with
speak
an
for you
open
three, but Google, if you're listening, I will more than happy shill your product.
Yes. I will
Send
get
to-
I will get
send
a
to-
Team Pixel tattoo on my butt if all of us get
I won't go that far on my forehead.
Yes. Right? All right. Anyway, on that note, thank you very much for everyone that's tuning